put all cards on the table. Guys having to step up and play better. Guys who don't have as much experience in the league that are in our rotation just can't go out and start spending money everywhere to build a team. And there's only so much left.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have officially achieved the impossible. I mean, it's been a decent amount of time since we've last uploaded, but it's been a whole 2 weeks since I've last uploaded a video on the Los Angeles Lakers. But we have a lot to update you on. I mean, the Lakers roster is in absolute disarray, and it looks like there's multiple paths that they can take to fix their roster. And there's some paths that they're actually resisting, which is very interesting to say the least. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. And if you want shorter versions of this content, make sure you follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. All my friends and family know that I hate shopping for jewelry. I think it's a horrific investment, and on top of it being a bad investment, jewelry retailers go out of their way to try to rip you off, either selling you low quality pieces of jewelry for an extremely high price or just selling it to you at a ridiculous price to begin with. Until I discovered the GLD shop, man. Because not only does the GLD shop have high quality jewelry for a very reasonable price, but they have pieces that you would never expect any other jewelry retailer to have. Like this Los Angeles Lakers white gold chain and pendant combo, which honestly, you have to admit, it definitely completes the look here. GLD was founded on the idea that everyone should be able to afford high quality jewelry pieces that deliver confidence and help complete your look. GLD is made with real gold that's built to last. Their manufacturing process and attention to detail is the best in the game. I mean, look at this bad boy. They're so confident in their product that there is a lifetime guarantee on all purchases, which means if there are any issues with your jewelry, GLD has you covered. I highly recommend you go through their website and look at their team pendants, because when you consider how much this should cost and how much it does cost, this is a steal. I don't know how they listed it for $99 on their website. And get this, if their original price isn't enough to entice you to at least check out their website, right now they're hooking up my subscribers with 33% off. All you have to do is go to gld.shopgld.com/flightmike. That's gld.shopgld.com/flightmike for 33% off of your order. And thank you, GLD, for the sponsorship. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Yeah, what you guys think about the custom jersey, huh? Huh? Yeah, I just got this bad boy. I love it. The Los Angeles Lakers have been in a very difficult situation this year. I mean, you even have their head coach, Darvin Ham, being very straightforward as to what their issue is.
We're a tax offender, right? We just can't go out and start spending money everywhere to build a team. We have 3 big-time future Hall of Fame, first ballot future Hall of Famers. A chunk of our budget is being spent on, and there's only so much left. So we have to do our due diligence and go out and again, establish the way we want to play, which I thought we've been doing.
And to be honest, man, we've said this multiple times on the channel. I'm not surprised that this is the direction that the Lakers season is going in. I mean, I want them to succeed. I'm a diehard Laker fan. I was raised with the Los Angeles Lakers, but if we're being honest, the definition of insanity is repeating the same exact freaking mistake and expecting a different result. And in this case, man, yeah, you could scapegoat Frank Vogel because he wasn't able to get along with Russell Westbrook, and I understand firing him because of that, but this is literally the Los Angeles Lakers trying to run it back with the same exact team, but with significantly worse supporting pieces, because those supporting pieces know how bad this team's going to be. The only players that actually decided to sign on with this team are players that saw what happened with Malik Monk last year. I mean, I'm looking at you, Lonnie Walker. I know what you decided to do, and I hope it works out for you, because that was a very brilliant move on your behalf. Since then, we've gotten a plethora of new information. I mean, this is the first Laker video that we've covered since the Kyrie Irving incident, the latest incident. And on top of that, this is the first time we've heard in quite some time that the Los Angeles Lakers are not only trying to part with Russell Westbrook, but according to Bill Simmons, Anthony Davis may be available for trade. Okay, all right, let's calm down here, all right?
It's Bill Simmons, Mike. He's just pulling stuff out of his butt.
Let me tell you something. Nathan, there are times where teams will leak out these little pieces of information out to news sources and outlets like Bill Simmons just to see what teams would be interested in trading for Anthony Davis. Saying a player is on the trade block isn't what you think. It's not like one general manager goes ahead and blows up each and every GM's phone to see who would be interested in that player, because if he did that, then the player could potentially get disgruntled. Sometimes you would hear the organization leak out these pieces of information to reputable sources that aren't Woj or Shams, because those are also super credible, just so a team like, I don't know, say the Brooklyn Nets saw this report and decided, hey, maybe AD is available. Let me call the Lakers and see what they would want for him or if it's even true. Which is really interesting because Anthony Davis isn't necessarily having his greatest season. This video is made right before the Los Angeles Lakers take on the Clippers, by the way, so AD's actually coming off of a 29-point performance against the Utah Jazz. But the Lakers are essentially stuck at this point. If you remember, about 10 days ago, Miles Turner really sent shockwaves throughout the NBA when he said this on Adrian Wojnarowski's podcast.
Personally, when you look at this business of the league and, knowing the landscape of the league, you have to go off your future, right? And we all know picks are so valuable in this league. And someone like myself, I'm heading into the last year of my deal, and you want to make sure, you're getting a return, for your assets, right? So, if I'm the Lakers, I take a very hard look at this with the position that you're in. I know what I can provide for a team, my leadership, my shot blocking, my three-point ability, and just my ability to make plays out there on the floor. And I take a very long look at it. But as far as pulling the trigger, that's I get paid to shoot. I'm not meant to make these calls, so I couldn't answer that.
It's so funny to me that you have Miles Turner trying to join a team that is performing worse than his current rebuilding team. I mean, at the time I'm recording this, the Pacers are 5-5 and the Lakers are 2-8, but that's besides the point. You might be wondering,
Mike, why aren't the Los Angeles Lakers trying to trade for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield?
Well, we actually have a report on that as well. And don't worry, I'll also address Kyrie Irving in just a sec. According to Howard Beck of Sports Illustrated via Peter Dewey of Lakers Daily, the Los Angeles Lakers don't plan to circle back to previous discussions involving the Brooklyn Nets Kyrie Irving and the Indiana Pacers Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. And in those discussions, when I brought up the Lakers, the pushback I was getting was they're waiting for a specific player, that they're not doing the Pacer deal, that they won't do the Kyrie deal, now that we for sure thought they would do a couple months ago. This is an indication that the Lakers are waiting for a bigger piece to come loose that they think they can trade Westbrook and the 2 future firsts for. So before we address the Kyrie Irving bid, I need you guys to acknowledge something crazy that's happening with Russell Westbrook ever since the Lakers have moved him to the bench. It's a phenomenon that I honestly can't explain. It goes against everything I understand about the analytical part of basketball, and that's the fact that ever since the season started, when Russell Westbrook was inserted in the starting lineup, he was 1 for 12 from 3. That is abysmal. Since then, Russell Westbrook is 12 of 27 from 3 when he's coming off of the bench. Dude, that's a 44% three-point percentage. I don't understand how the hell this happens. It doesn't make sense. Maybe Russell Westbrook feels significantly more confident coming off of the bench because he's playing against lesser competition. Maybe he's just excited because, for the most part, he is the captain of that second unit. He's not the second fiddle to LeBron James or the third fiddle to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. He is the guy that is responsible for generating offense for the Los Angeles Lakers when he's leading that bench unit. And props to the Lakers because this, without a doubt, is doing wonders for Russell Westbrook. Trade value. It's significantly easier to trade a player that doesn't look like a complete shell of his former self because he isn't able to play with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But that aside, you might be wondering, Mike, why won't the Lakers trade for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield? You see, the Lakers have one shot at improving this roster. I mean, they really only have one opportunity here. They have the contract of Russell Westbrook, they have Anthony Davis if they want to trade Anthony Davis, and they have the 2027 and 2029 first round pick, which without a doubt is going to be a top 5 pick in my head. I mean, I'm telling you, man, it's far away. It's 5 years down the line. LeBron is definitely going to be retired by then, unless if he decides to pull a Tom Brady, which I don't think he's going to do. The Lakers are going to be an absolute show of a front office and an organization. They already are, if I'm being honest. This pick's going to be Robert Sacre, Xavier Henry, Jody Meeks in the starting five of the Los Angeles Lakers with Mike D'Antoni as a head coach. Levels of bad. This pick is going to be selecting D'Angelo Russell with the number 2 overall pick, and then Brandon Ingram with the number 2 overall pick. Levels of bad. There is no doubt in any of our minds that these picks are going to be horrific. If it's in a draft that is going to include the next coming of LeBron James, which, come on, within the next 5 or 7 years, there is going to be another next coming of LeBron James. These picks are super valuable. You don't want to offload them for absolutely nothing. And no disrespect to Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, they're great players, but when you consider how horrible the Lakers are, I mean, they are really freaking bad. You really have to take a look at this 2-8 Lakers squad and realize that this team is so atrocious that acquiring Miles Turner and Buddy Hield makes them go from a potential top 5 in the lottery, maybe all the way to an 11 seed or maybe a play-in spot. That's not worth giving up any amount of capital for. That's not worth giving any player up for. And when you consider the fact that there's expiring contracts involved, they are trading for an expiring contract in this case. If Miles Turner really hates his lone season in Los Angeles, he could pull a Dwight Howard and leave. Shout out to Dwight Howard for signing in Taiwan, by the way, but I digress. Well, if Miles Turner and Buddy Hield aren't who the Lakers want, then who are they targeting? What about Kyrie Irving? They were going nuts over Kyrie Irving over the summer. And man, if you think Russell Westbrook's value took a tumble, Kyrie Irving's stock took a brand new level of tumble. I mean, you might forget, let me take you through a timeline of Kyrie Irving's career over the past 6 years. During the 2015 to 2016 season, Kyrie Irving was on top of the world. He hit a legacy-defining shot for LeBron James. The Cavaliers came back down from a 3-1 series deficit against the team that broke the record for most wins in the season. Cleveland won its first championship in decades because of LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. Kyrie was playing with a top 2 player of all time. He was the future face of a franchise, but he decided that he didn't want to play with the top 2 player of all time and consistently compete for championships. He demanded a trade. Now, at the time, you need to understand that Kyrie Irving wasn't viewed the same way he's viewed today. I mean, sure, he did have his flat earth comments, which were a little weird, but he wasn't known as the man he currently is. So Kyrie Irving gets traded to the Boston Celtics, which without a doubt is the most storied franchise in the entire NBA, or at least in the top 2. A team with a rich history in basketball, with the brightest future in the NBA with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, a brilliant head coach at the time in Brad Stevens that just made really intelligent basketball decisions. And at the time, you have to remember, they also had Terry Rozier, they had Gordon Hayward. Well, very shortly into his tenure with the Boston Celtics, despite his team literally making it to the Eastern Conference Finals Game 7 without him, Kyrie Irving decided that, hey, you know what? I don't want to play for this team anymore, and just 2 years into his Boston Celtics tenure, decided to sign with the Brooklyn Nets. During year 1 with the Brooklyn Nets, he had injury issues, which I didn't necessarily blame him because Kevin Durant wasn't playing at the time. So fine, I understand trying to address any injury concerns you've had. Kevin Durant comes back, him and Kyrie Irving decide that we don't want Kenny Atkinson as our coach, we want Steve Nash. During year 2, Kyrie Irving decides to take these random weekends off. The Brooklyn Nets also traded for James Harden. In year 3, Kyrie Irving had vaccination issues and didn't play a large sum of games because he didn't want to get vaccinated. He also alienated James Harden during this time, by the way. Harden really didn't like the way the Nets were being run, so after the Nets gutted out their entire pool of assets to get James Harden, they then traded James Harden to the Sixers for Ben Simmons. And then, of course, in year 4, after an offseason where Kyrie and KD wanted to potentially get traded, the Brooklyn Nets started out their season very slowly. Steve Nash got fired. Kyrie Irving said some anti-Semitic stuff, which is keeping him out of games even more. And now his value is at an all-time low. When you consider the fact that his contract is also expiring, if you're the Los Angeles Lakers, is this a human being that you want to give up a future first-round pick for? You might be thinking, well, what about Russell Westbrook for Kyrie Irving straight up? That's not going to happen. The Brooklyn Nets are so devoid of assets that they're going to do whatever they possibly can to potentially recoup some some of the lost draft picks that they lost in the James Harden deal, which is why I'm sure that they're open to Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant trades currently, but it's going to have to take a decent amount of assets in order to get them to budge. Maybe if they offer Anthony Davis, they'd be interested in him, but I don't think the target should be Kyrie Irving in this case. I think the only player that could currently save the Los Angeles Lakers is a player that I don't think is going to get traded to the Lakers. As much as I would love to see this as a basketball fan, because I do think the level of competition is so crazy in the NBA that this pair would be very entertaining to watch. The only person that I think could potentially make the Lakers somewhat of a contender, like not even a main contender, but a little bit of a contender, is Kevin Durant. The only way the Nets would consider trading Kevin Durant is if the Lakers gave up Anthony Davis and their future first round picks. I don't see that happening. I don't even think that's enough for the Nets to say yes. So at this point, the Lakers don't necessarily have a choice but to play out the remainder of the season. And so far, they've been smart in doing that, because in this extremely young season so far, we've seen the Brooklyn Nets completely crumble, and that's put Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant in trade rumors once again. But apart from that, man, I don't see any situation where the Lakers can make a move to make them contenders in the middle of the season. I don't see a Pau Gasol in 2008 type of haul for them, where they can make a mid-season trade, go from a potential 7th or 8th seed all the way to the team that is representing the Western Conference in the NBA Finals. Even though they lost the 2008 NBA Finals, they ended up winning the 2009 and 2010 NBA Finals. So regardless, the Lakers are officially stuck, but at least there's logic and reasoning to what they are planning to do to try to get them out of this situation. They're not being trigger happy in trying to acquire players to play with LeBron James. They're being very selective because they understand that they only have 1 or 2 moves that they can make. So with that being said, I think waiting to the offseason and just playing out a horrific season this year might be their best bet. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this, man. Congrats to the New Orleans Pelicans, because we literally donated Victor Wembanyama to you guys. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.